Dylan, and brace yourself. DIY prop shop is coming. All right, so today we're gonna be making a dragon egg from Game of Thrones, and you don't even have to sit through fire to do it. This egg's special because of its scaling detail and the crater situation it's got going on the bottom. I think I'm gonna be doing the green egg today, but you can use the same techniques and apply whatever color you choose. So let's get started. Since we're making an egg today, let's start with our egg. I picked this guy up for about $4 at a craft store, but if you're not lucky enough to be working around Easter, you can easily find one of these online. Or you can get a foam ball also from a craft store and shave it into an egg shape, but why make your life harder? And then to get that scaling detail, you could probably use foam or paper mache, but I don't think it's gonna give you the right detail you want. So I'm gonna be using some air dry clay today. Make sure you pick up air dry and not oven bake since we're dealing with a plastic base. This tub is about $6.99, but they always have coupons at those craft stores, so you should use them. So I'm just gonna quickly sand down the egg so that the clay adheres a little bit better. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's all gonna get covered anyways, and I just took myself outside really quick so that I didn't get glitter everywhere. Since we're gonna be using air dry clay on this project, we really wanna allow it to dry. So we're gonna be splitting it up into 2 halves. We'll be doing the bottom half, sculpting it and letting it dry, doing the top half and then letting it dry, and then painting it. So this build will take a couple of days and will be time consuming, but not for you. It'll just be for letting the clay dry. So let's get started on the crater detail on the bottom. Air dry clay takes a couple of hours to start setting, so take your time and get all the detailing that you want. Since the dragon egg is an organic shape, you really want there to be a lot of variation in your detailing on the top. So imperfections are great, and any sort of varied pattern is also really great. So I'm pretty happy with the details that we got. I'm gonna let this guy dry overnight, and tomorrow we'll start on the top half and the scale details. So air dry clay has a tendency to crack, especially on round surfaces and in thin sheets, but it's really not that big of a deal. It kind of works with our whole look of the egg. So we're just gonna fill these guys in so it's nice and structurally sound and get started on the top. Now that we've got the cracks all filled in on the bottom half of our egg, we're gonna start on the top. We're gonna lay the clay on exactly like we did on the bottom, but this time, once it's laid on top, we're going to carve it out so we can get all the scaling detail. Once I put this last piece on, our scaling will be done. I just need to go back through and clean up these other guys back here, and then we'll let it dry overnight and get painting tomorrow. So first things first, our egg didn't crack, which is great news. But if yours at home did, it's totally okay. You can just fill in the cracks like we did on the bottom, and you don't even really have to wait for it to fully dry before you start painting on it. So that's the best part about air dry clay. As far as paint goes, we're gonna be using acrylic today. You could use watercolor or tempera paint, but they're more translucent. And acrylic will really give us that dense, saturated look that we want. So I'm using a sponge to break apart some of the green color that I just put in so that it looks a little bit more organic. Our acrylic is drying so quickly right now that we don't even really need to do it in stages. We can just plop it on and keep on painting, which is the greatest. So the key to this egg paint job is probably the variation in color and all the different greens that you have to use to make it look as organic as possible. And the great thing about acrylic is you can just keep layering it on and layering it on until you get it exactly the way you want it. So the egg in the show has a bit of sheen to it. So I want to recreate that on our egg, and I'm thinking I'm going to use some metallic acrylic and lightly brush that on just so we get that little bit of sheen, a little bit of pop, and add a little extra luster to our egg. I am the mother of dragons. Jon Snow may know nothing, but now you know how to make a dragon egg, which is awesome. So now use those same techniques and go create the other two. So this project wasn't too pricey. We had the original egg at about $4. We had $7 worth of clay and about $4 in paint. So it came out to about 15 bucks. Pretty good. As always, leave suggestions in the comments below or email us at DIYPropShop@brick.com. And keep sending us your builds. We love seeing your versions of past episodes and your original builds. They're awesome and keep them coming. I'm Dylan Thomas, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Now get out of my garage. Before you go, we'd like to thank Gillette for sponsoring this episode, and click the link below to join the Gillette Shave Club.